What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So we just got some new cards announced in the Legacy of Destruction again, I believe. So yeah, let's check them out as soon as you smash the like and subscribe button. So the first card is Snake Eyes Diabellstar. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of Mekk-Knight Orcust Girsu, you know? Like, in its name, it belongs to like two different archetypes. So it's like super easily searchable and accessible. This card is obviously not only a Snake Eyes monster, so searchable by, well, special summonable off of Ash and Oak, but also it's a Diabellstar monster, meaning that it is the second monster to be able to be searched off of Wanted. So Wanted doesn't just search Diabellstar the Black Witch now, which is pretty interesting. And that's really cool, the crossover. So it's a fire just like the Snake Eyes, and it is a spellcaster monster just like the Diabellstar the Black Witch. And of course, level 8 monster with 2800 attack and 2600 defense, really big boy. The artwork of this card is phenomenal. I have nothing to say. We can see Diabellstar, and we can see like a big-ass populace in here. Anyways, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. When an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, so you attack or your opponent attacks, you can place that opponent's monster and this card face up in their owner spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Okay, yeah, it's a battle effect, so it's a little reactive, a little slow. If this card is a continuous spell, you can target one fire monster in your grave except Snake Eyes Diabellstar, so itself. Place it face up in its owner spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, and if you do special summon this card, this effect is in no way better than Flamberge. Flamberge is cracked, and this card's not good for anything, honestly. So it's sad to say, but even though this card is like, you know, it's super easy to search and everything, it doesn't mean that it's a card that you're necessarily trying to play. I have some credibility when I say that because I do play the Snake Eyes deck myself, and I do understand how this card is just not really good for the deck, unfortunately. So yeah, it is what it is, but this card is actually very, very bad. Anyways, now we've got Battle of the Sinful Spoils, and it's a quickly spell card that you can only activate one card with this card's name once per turn. What's the artwork? I need to check. So we have Populace here, and then is that Diabellstar again? I have no idea. Anyways, you target cards you control up to the number of your Sinful Spoils cards that are banished and or in your own graveyard, and or cards your opponent controls up to the number of their Sinful Spoils cards that are banished and or in their graveyard, destroy them. Okay, so at first it took me a little while to like really understand what was going on here because it's a little confusing for like no given reason. But basically, let's just say that you have like two Sinful Spoil cards in your graveyard or banished. You can destroy up to 2 of your own cards, which is slightly stupid. Or if your opponent has like 2 Sinful Spoil cards in like his own graveyard or banished, then you can destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. So in other words, this card is more of like a mirror match card, if anything. It's a card that you want to side in against decks that utilize the Sinful Spoils engine. My issue though is that with Wanted, you even put back one of your Sinful Spoil cards in the bottom of the deck, so there is always going to be one less. Yeah, it's a little garbage, actually, honestly. I really don't like this card. It's never going to be destroying multiple cards, and there is just always a better thing that you can do if you really want to play a card. Like, sure, this card, I mean, no, it's not even like searchable by Diabellstar. It's settable. You're not going to be able to use it right away when you set it with Diabellstar. You can use it as an interruption on your opponent's turn, but they're just really mediocre, right? You can't really break a board by searching this card out and then using it right away because you can't do that. So I really do not like this card whatsoever, but it does have a second effect. If this set card is destroyed or banished by an opponent's activated effect, you can shuffle up to 2 cards on the field into the deck, doesn't target. So in terms of removal, if you can actually trigger this effect, it's actually really nice, but realistically, this is just another Waking the Dragon for me. It's not really good. I mean, it's hard to justify Waking the Dragon as an option in your deck unless you're playing like a trap deck. So to me, this just doesn't really feel like it adds too much. Like, if anything, maybe you want to play this in Labyrinth against I don't know, Fire King-esque decks or anything that plays the Wanted engine, but it's just really bad. Like, worst case, you get hit by Duster, but then if your opponent starts right away with Duster, and then he destroys that, then there's nothing to shuffle. So it's not like Waking the Dragon where you can just summon like a Towers, and that's already annoying to out. So I actually don't like this card. Like I said, I actually think this brings nothing to the strategy, and this card is just not good. Again, you might as well always summon Flamberge if you want to, if you can, sorry. So this card is kind of shitty, and you would never really want to search this card over Diabellstar the Black Witch with Wanted. So no, I'm not down. Anyways, we've got some Goblin Rider cards now, And the cool thing here is that it's actually related to the Snake Eyes and the Diabell Star in the lore, which I really have no idea how that's even a thing, but whatever. Okay, alright, so the first card is a rank 3 monster, Goblin Biker Grial Trio. Light Warrior, okay, 2+ level 3 monsters. If there are 3 or more Xyz materials attached to monsters on the field, okay, your Goblin monsters can attack directly. I love how it's actually just Goblin and not necessarily Goblin Biker, so it randomly has synergy with like Goblin Attack Force and like Goblinberg and stuff like that. Anyways, once per turn, if a monster is normal or special summon while this monster is on the field, you can target one of them, detach 1 Xyz material from a monster on the field, and if you do change the targeted monster's battle position, no! What? This is so bad. Like, there is nothing insane that you can really get by just changing the battle position of a monster. It's not really like an insane interruption, and if your opponent summons a Link monster, there is no battle position to change. So that's actually just catastrophic. This card is really bad. But anyways, once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 Xyz material from a monster on the field, and if you do, negate the attack. This is hands down one of the worst cards I've ever read in my life. Like, there's always something better to summon with 2 level 3 monsters. There's so many good rank 3s. Why would you want to waste 2 or more level 3 monsters in order to summon something that changes the battle position of monsters or negates attacks? And by the way, this effect is irrelevant because if you already have your stuff going, it's easy to OTK your opponent without having to attack directly. So this is just catastrophic. I despise this card. It's all good though, maybe the trap card is better. Goblin Biker Pile Up, but again, we can see like a big ass. I think this should be a big populace. The same one on the artwork of the Snake Eyes Diabell Star. Anyways, normal trap, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's once per turn. Target 1 Xyz monster you control, special summon 1 Goblin Xyz monster from your extra deck using that monster you control as a material. And if you do attach this card to it as additional material, this is treated as an Xyz summon. So that's actually already not too bad, and it is a Goblin Biker spell or trap, so you can search it easily. It's already better than the rank 3 monster. You can banish this card from your grave, then target 1 Goblin Xyz monster you control, and 1 card in either graveyard. Attach the second target to that first target as a material. It reminds me, I think there's like a Time Thief trap card that does like a very similar thing. Oh no, sorry, it's not. I don't think it's the Time Thief trap, but rather like the Basil ship or something. Yeah, it's not really that it's a DD Crow, but like you can attach stuff from your opponent's graveyard to one of your monsters. And I think that's a very nice effect. And the fact that you can use both effects in the same turn definitely makes this a great inclusion to the deck. So nice card for sure. I think this card is a cool one of in the Goblin Biker deck, but this card is nah, just get out of here. Anyways, now we've got some additional cards, the Gold Pride monsters. I suck with the deck, so I have no idea if these cards are good or not. Anyways, the first one is Assassinator, level 5 Earth Machine Tuner. You already know I'm trying to summon Cyber Dragon Nova with this card. I'm totally not biased. You can only use both effects once per turn. If your life points are lower than your opponent, you can special summon this card from your hand. They all have that effect. You can banish one other Gold Pride monster from your hand, face of field, or graveyard that has a level. So in other words, everything except the Xyz and Link monsters. Special summon 1 Gold Pride token, Machine, Dark, Attack, 0 defense, 0 attack. With the same level, also this card cannot be used. This card, okay, so the Gold Pride Assassinator can be used as a material for a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link summon for the rest of the turn, unless it is a Gold Pride monster. That's completely fine. That's actually kind of good, honestly. I don't think this card is bad. Yeah, I mean, you can special summon this card and then banish one of your level 3s, and then you summon a token that's level 3, and then you can Synchro summon into... Oh, actually. Well, will you look at that? We've got a generic level 8 monster by the name of Gold Pride Annihilator. So level 8 Dark Warrior effect, 2717. Generic again, you can only use the first effect of this guy's once per turn. During your opponent's turn quick effect, you can target 1 Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster on the field, or up to 2 if your life points are lower than your opponent's. Very easy to do. Destroy it. Okay, so quite clearly, this is a very good effect. I am absolutely not going to complain. It is a quick effect that allows you to destroy up to 2 extra deck monsters, basically, but they don't even have to necessarily be summoned from the extra deck. That's the cool part. So if your opponent goes like Monster Reborn, Revive back a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, then you can destroy it. Absolutely fantastic. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card's first effect was activated this turn, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do special summon 1 Gold Pride Assassinator from your deck or graveyard, you can get back your Assassinator, and then this time, if you want to, instead of making the Synchro, you can go for like the Link monster. Reminds me a little bit the theme to Gladiator Beast, how your monsters, once you summon them, you're not really stuck on them. You can actually like transform them and tag them out into other monsters. Obviously, this is a mandatory effect, so it's not like you have any choice. I do like this ability in the Gold Pride monsters. I don't even think it's a drawback whatsoever, even though it's mandatory, because it's during the end phase of your opponent, because it's only on your opponent's turn. So if anything, it's actually a good thing that on your turn, this is not going to be like a useless inconvenience. And I'm pretty sure that you can synchro summon on your opponent's turn. There's a card in the Gold Pride deck that does that. So being able to quick sync into this is definitely fantastic. So these cards are actually really cool. And the trap card was also very nice. But everything else, like this card, as well as these two cards, absolutely catastrophic. Yeah, they actually make me want to vomit. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.